Hello everyone, this is Stefan from Lush&SaltyAquariums. How are we doing? Let's have a look at my ADA Nano Cube tank. It's been set up for a couple years now, and you can see the guy who inspired me to do this video just plopped onto a bed of leaves. That's my mystery snail, luminescent white, a gorgeous creature. I highly recommend them for tanks, and obviously, even though they're big, they'll do just fine in a small aquarium. Clearly, I have a shit ton of ram's horn snails, but at least they're the pink-red variety, which I prefer to the simple brownish ones like that, but I can't stop them from doing the nasty with one another. So basically, I just have a shit ton of ram's horn snails, but as I've shown in other videos, I trap them in a test tube with some algae wafer, and I get like 50 of them, and then I put them in a jar and feed them to my pea puffers in another tank. And so what we're looking at species-wise is a small school of these glorious ruby tetras, somewhat rarer strain versus like cardinal tetras or red tetras. The ruby tetra is smaller and more docile and perfect for a teeny tiny tank. Now the heroes, the stars, the show-offs are these three male endlers. I believe they're a strain of wing eye or black bar endlers or some permutation. And of course I'm filming, so everybody has to go to the back of the tank. Well, not everybody, because there's also all kinds of Bloody Mary shrimp, cherry shrimp, and in-betweeners like that guy. He's literally half and half, or just any old thing, maybe a saddleback red with white, or lack of pigment, I should say, not white pigment. This is a very low-grade cherry shrimp. If you're grading, I'm sure he doesn't see himself that way. And as I've said in numerous other videos, the deep red, unfettered color like this female here, that's a Bloody Mary quality. So that one would cost more, I'd say, in a local fish store, anywhere from $4 to $9 just for that specimen. I've seen them cost more, but that's ridiculous. This one, I believe, is buried. In other words, she's pregnant, so more to come. And I don't need any more. I've said this before, but if you're in my neck of the woods, I will collect a dozen or so cherry shrimp from all different strains and basically give them to you. Look at that. Isn't that the coolest? Boom. So they move around, and falling is part of their strategy. You know, it's sure a lot quicker than slowly slithering down a plant. You just basically release and fall and let gravity and water and your ingenious dinosaur age body chemistry do the rest. I don't know, this is a pretty cool organism. So these things are $7 or $8, maybe less. Depends. You can get them way less if you have a friend, because they do reproduce, but in a fairly unusual way. It takes a bit of doing and some prep, but it is a fun project. They will go to the top and they will lay their eggs along the air surface. So you'll want a lid and you want to do a few things, and it's sort of like a mucus cocoon that they lay, and you'll want to retrieve that. And there's tons of videos on how to do it. I've yet to do it, but I have gotten baby mystery snails just because they hatched from the container of eggs that were up top somewhere and I wasn't aware of it. I've always enjoyed the top-down view of this tank. You've got Christmas moss here, which has become outside the tank, and I pour water on it every time I do a water change with such a small tank, and in the heat of summer is basically adding a gallon or so every day. When you get right down to it, I generally pour over this to keep it wet against these hot white lights. That's pretty neat little nano light actually, and I have it on this nifty bamboo stand. The kit for that is easily found online. I forget the maker, but a little bit of search and you'll have yourselves a nifty stand just like this. And it would be great in any modern living room. You don't have to have it in some nerdy fish room like me. It can be a glorious piece that your wife won't freak out about. Just techno-wise, I've got an Zuzu, or basically it's a white label knockoff filter. These things are dirt cheap. I've seen them at $7.99 to about 14 bucks. It's a hang-on back. I've taken a cue from some of my YouTube buddies and basically just replaced the silly little kit they give you with nothing but these biomedia, and allow that plus a ton of plants, which I'll get to momentarily, do the bulwark of all my cleaning and filtering. I took CO2 out of this tank almost a year ago, and while I did lose the Monte Carlo for all intents and purposes, it has not hurt the Anubias Petite. That's like $100 worth of that plant, maybe more. It's just a glorious piece of Anubias, all up and down this great reddish piece of spiderwood. You saw the moss, and in the back I have a little bacopa rising up above, some pothos, which is kind of merging with this vase aquarium just to the right of my tank. And of course I have crypts here, and then I have some Japanese clover, which I like to just move around as art direction. It kind of grows any way you want it to. I have some out of the ground back here, and then this is just floating. But all in all, a pretty nifty tank. The white shrimp, again, or excuse me, I'm sorry, the white snail and the red shrimp, and some of those flashy endlers. I mean, there they come. Look at them show-offs. Mo, Larry, and Curly, pretty sweet, but it's a great little tank. If you have any questions, hit me up. Let's talk about cherry shrimp or trades or ram's horn snails. I'm giving them away at Lush and Salty. As always, friends, keep your hand. I can't talk tonight. Keep your hands in the tank. Stay safe. Ciao for now.